folks, we are live. It is July 16th, 2024, and I am back at Scientology's Big Blue building. I am on my way to meet up with friend and journalist Dodge Landisman. By the way, for those of you who are wondering why I am holding my phone vertically instead of horizontally, YouTube does not appear to be giving me the option today of going horizontally. And if any creators out there have any idea why that might be, I would love to know any insight that you may have. So it's certainly not what I'm used to. Hey. Not much. All right, so if any recruitment is happening around now, I'm thinking that it would be closer to the front. So would you be down to go that way?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, it looks like, yeah, somebody is walking out of the building right now.
We got a staffer here. We got the guy on the bike. Looks like William Jr.
Are you wearing, was this the same shirt that you were wearing at the courthouse? I didn't realize how nice it was. No, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, is that Odo? Yeah, that is Odo, isn't it?
Oh, it's Odo. That's my boy.
Hey, Odo.
How are you? I missed you. I love you. Yeah, I got this in Miami for like $20.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
I have a rule. If I wear an outfit, I won't allow myself to change because then it's a piece of purpose of wearing a nice outfit if you're going to get rid of it after 2 hours.
I get that. So I don't blame you.
Oh, this is so hot. I had to take off the jacket.
Yeah, I was going to say, it is hot out. I don't know how I'd hold up in a long sleeve shirt like this.
I don't know if it's the weather or if it's Odin making me that hot. Hard to say.
We got a journalist and a comedian.
We got 2 for 1.
I love it.
Better for worse. But yeah, I feel like this is a good time. I've never been out at 11 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not usually out protesting at this time either, excuse me. I remember when I came out here in September of last year for the Eat Predators protest. That was an earlier day one. That was something like 12 to noon, if I remember correctly. And then the next month, in October of 2023, we did a protest at Celebrity Center that was 1 to 4. And that was really well attended. That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Because one of the only ex-Scientologists who at that first one at Big Blue last year was Laura. That's the day that I met Laura.
Okay.
And then at the next one, lots of ex-Scientologists were there. Serge was there, Karen De La Carriere and Jeffrey Augustine were there. Liz Ferris was there. Oh yeah, it was a good turnout.
Oh, that's impressive. Was that just like, were they having an event or like their own event? Is that what?
Yeah, so I don't know if you're familiar with Alexa Nicholas, but she's a friend of mine, and she is a former child star who was on Nickelodeon. And did you hear about that documentary Quiet on Set?
Yeah, well, I heard it left a lot out, actually.
That is also true. I would definitely.
Yeah, I saw it.
You did see it. Nice. So she was in it. She was on Zoe 101. We got some street maintenance going on. Hello. She was on Zoe 101, and so she had some experience working with Dan Schneider on that show. And so anyway, she has an organization called Eat Predators that tends to organize protests against predatory individuals and also against the institutions that back them up. So like we've also protested against the Grammys when there were a handful of lawsuits against the Recording Academy and executives at the Recording Academy, and the people who they had silenced, we were amplifying their voices. So that kind of thing. But anyway, it was shortly after that is loud. Shortly after the Danny Masterson sentencing is when Eat Predators started paying attention to Scientology. So we had that, she had that one protest in September of last year, and that's where I met her. And then she and I became pretty good friends, and I got to kind of help her plan the October one, which was a lot of fun. Heck yeah.
I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. MD Media, what's up?
Yeah, I'll say hi to some folks as well. Hey, Mandy McGee, thank you for being here. Hey, Mandy, and yeah, Hutton says, vertical mode is crazy, Jacob. Yeah, you guys, I don't know why this happened. I prefer horizontal, but it wouldn't let me change it. Like usually when I go to advanced settings, as I'm setting up my live, I can change from vertical to horizontal. And I just didn't see that option there today. I don't know if, like I said, if there's any creators in the chat who have experienced the same thing and know a workaround, I would love to know. Okay, I gotta be honest, I have not been up here since the road was blocked off in a while. Let's see how close we can get.
I can get a little jump in the bounce.
It looks like we do have a nice little food truck here. How's it going? So if I do find myself getting hungry or thirsty, we got options. Confident Chris's finger says, be careful, private security are aggressive. Noted. So as I understand it, the sidewalk is not blocked. Yeah, so I did see somebody coming.
There are none.
Mm-hmm.
So neither of us have been trespassed though, so we're entitled.
That's true, but we can stay on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Hello. How's it going? How you doing? Oh, but the sidewalk is public though, right? The sidewalk is not public?
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah, so we can just go walk on through, right?
Well, you can't just stay in the one.
Gotcha,
okay,
gotcha.
that's
So
fine.
okay, moving. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Well, it could have been worse if that's something you have no.
Is it cool if I just stop for a sec to read this? Can I just read it? Crowd notice, consent and release. Scientology Media Productions will be filming in this area today. By entering this area, you irrevocably... Oh, okay, so you gotta keep moving? Okay, gotcha. Thank you. We're continuing to move right along. You got a bounce house. Oh, whoops, sorry about that. Just almost tripped there. Probably best for me to look where I'm going. I guess not.
This is fun for the whole family.
I thought so, yeah.
Aren't I part
Some
of
nice,
family?
we got some nice little tables there, some nice chairs, nice planters. Quiet, please.
It's really a huge show.
See some nice.
Community though. It's great.
Oh wow, there's a stage here. Looks like performances may be happening. That sounds like it could be cool.
Everybody's really enjoying this at the moment.
Yeah.
It's such a great way to bring people together.
Yeah, a lot more. Empty tables,
Enjoying these festivities.
empty chairs and empty tables. It's a song from Les Miserables.
It's a wedding.
Even more.
Pretty cool.
Indeed.
Oh, it's cool. We still have a walk. So it's not far behind us.
Oh, not far at all. And there we've got that lion. Yeah, we do have a cool little lion there, don't we? Wait, little lion man, your heart. Reminds me of the Mumford & Sons song, Little Lion Man. There's another, like a slip and slide, that thing looks like. Very cool. Sounds like we got some music coming up here. There's Double Dip Water Park, more chairs and tables. Hi. More chairs and tables. Oh, are they doing pictures over there or paintings, caricatures? I can't tell what's on the other side of that, but that looks cool. Oh, okay, we do have a performance here, live performance. That's exciting. We don't get those every day.
Cruising. Smokey Robinson.
Oh, okay.
So you can buy stuff here, I guess, once in a while.
Yeah, when they're open, which it looks like they are now. Where do we exit over here? Got you. Thank you.
We'll walk with us. I appreciate it. Thanks for walking with us. What's your name? I'm Dutch. Someday I'll learn your name. We'll play the name game. Anna Fofana, Anna Fofana.
I'm
Name
Jacob.
game.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good one.
Next time.
And the SPTV Foundation and the Aftermath Foundation both have volunteers that are willing to help you get back on your feet if you ever decide that you're interested in leaving. Just
know you're gonna not welcome here.
okay.
Now you guys, I'm not gonna let you.
What if I want to go to the bouncy
Well, but
castle?
the sidewalk we're still allowed on though, right?
Perimeter area, you cannot welcome.
Wait, what?
It's a perimeter area.
Perimeter of area? Is that
Perimeter area.
primitive area?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I think it's just primitive.
Prim.
Not primitive. Big you super joke.
I just don't know what that word means. What does that mean?
You're gonna not welcome here.
But the sidewalk is still public, right?
You guys see this? You guys see this?
I see this, yeah.
We're on the right side.
You should know that it's not.
I just want to make sure that I understand what the law is, because my understanding is that so I can get out of the street for a sec, but my understanding is that the sidewalk, my understanding is that we're allowed on the sidewalk, right? But we can't be, as long as we keep moving along on the public sidewalk, that's okay. We just can't stop in one place. I just want to. Well, I just want some clarification. I'm hearing you, so we'll start backing away, but. I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Like I asked a bunch of clarifying questions. Feel free to let me know.
But I love Fleetwood Mac. I can't enjoy Fleetwood Mac. I'm gonna start playing some Eagles. See how you like that.
Oh goodness, yeah, and I'm seeing in the chat saying he's BS, y'all. No, don't let security bully you. No, yeah, I know what the rule is. I know that the sidewalk, we're allowed on the sidewalk as long as we just keep walking. As long as we just keep walking. But I wanted to, I mean, I'm not just gonna not ask the question and not continue to ask that. And if he's gonna continue to answer the,
well, I guess we have the phones and everything.
we've got the, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's not many people on their side who are really just curiously trying to come through and stream.
We both know he's lying. Well,
Yeah.
like I tried to ask. I said I want to use some of the super soakers. Like I can't cool. I think I'm entitled to water. Isn't that a basic human right?
Oh, you know what?
Right.
Somebody in the chat is saying he's not Scientology, private security, but Scientology's guards tell them to lie to y'all. That's interesting, actually, because they don't want their members even coming that close in contact with us. I was promoting the foundation, so if he's not a Scientologist, I guess maybe that's not having the impact that it could have.
Google it and be like, oh my God, who am I working for?
I mean, at this point, who doesn't know though? Like,
You'd be surprised how ignorant some people are.
I guess so, yeah.
Anything about Scientology and are just too lazy. Like it doesn't pop in their mind to even Google what it is.
I guess
like
not.
It's just a job. I mean, it's interesting when people ask you, what do I do? I say, well, I'm trying to make a go of it on YouTube. I have to explain to them what Scientology is. Most of them don't know what it is. I'll be like, it's a religion. Tom Cruise, if you know him, was part of it, is part of it. But they're not really a religion, they're a cult. But 60% of people have never heard of it. So he could be one of those people, or just apathetic. So he could be one of those dudes who just doesn't even register in his mind. You know.
It could be, although it's hard for me to imagine that people are just going to take a job without learning anything about it. And these days, all it takes is one Google search on Scientology, and you'll find.
So disinterested, it wouldn't even come up in their mind to Google anything or to think about who they're working for. And some people are just not most people, but I'm gonna say at least 30% of people are like, there's not a lot of depth in their thoughts, so they don't care to research or look at it. It's not even a thing that pops up. Oh, maybe I should Google who I'm working for. They have just no interest. It's like you work, you go home, that's it. You like the topics that you like, if it's sports, if it's something else, whatever. But yeah, it's interesting how even today, there are a lot of people who really don't know about it. But I mean, that guy could very well know about it too. Tons of people think it's a Catholic church, just Chuck. That's
what?
a new one.
Yeah, I don't know how many people think they're the same.
Abused kids, so hey.
There you
not that
go.
far off. They think it's just some church. Right. You know, a few people, maybe they've heard the term Scientology, just think it's, you know, Scientology, you know, they think maybe it's a smaller part of Christianity, like Unitarianism or, you know, more harmless type things. But you don't know.
Part of me just thinks, how funny would it be if we just did like 12 laps, like just kept doing the same exact thing. We could definitely go through again. I am also down to stay on the street over here and just see if we happen to see anything interesting happening on this side. Looks like there might be a staff or Sea Org member walking back to their car. I don't have any.
You know what we also eliminated?
What's that?
I don't see anybody in like the tie-dye t-shirts anymore. Like surreptitiously, like.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it has been a minute, and
it's been a while.
I know every now and again, Confident Chris will get here early enough that there are still recruiters out that sometimes they even will try to hand him something.
Yeah, I saw that.
He tends to get the good footage.
Yes, he does. He gets the action.
I'm not sure if he'll be out here today, but it would be cool to see him.
Yeah.
It has been a minute. It's been a while since I've been here, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think
where were you last year?
Honestly, I think it was around the time that the encampment was still going. I don't think I've been here since that ended. So yeah, it has been a minute. Yeah, what was that? It was scheduled to go up until the end of June and then ended up being June 8th or so.
Yeah, it's a solid week.
Yeah, lots of people in my chat are loving your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Glad you guys enjoy it. $20 purchase in Miami. But I dress up because I like to dress up for sport.
Yeah, you and Philip Cohen.
Yes.
Not that you have anything else in common with him.
He looks like an out-of-shape kingpin. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, me and Cohen. I complimented Cohen once on his style.
Oh, really?
Very much.
Oh, I love that. I'm sure he did too.
Yeah, I don't know if he was right.
I think I'm actually going to take a drink of water real quick. I am baking out here. It is, goodness gracious, it is hot. Do you have water?
Yeah.
Do you need some?
I mean, I could have a sip if you have a germ for some more.
I think I have a few water bottles too. If you want one, yeah.
Yeah,
I got big ones.
Oh,
Do you
Jesus
wanna?
Christ.
Do you wanna have one?
You know, I don't think I'm gonna have a whole massive jug.
Okay. Okay.
Not really worth it.
Got you.
But I appreciate the offer.
No problem.
That's massive. You can't prepare it.
Yeah, I've been out here streaming before and run out of water sooner than I'd hoped to.
That makes sense. So I'm curious. There's a conversation in the chat, and Amy says it's sad how there's so few protests in LA. And then it's Mike Sandoval said Scientology started swatting everybody and they don't feel safe. So what do you think? Do you think there is a tangible lack of protesters? Do you think
Yeah, no
do you
problem.
think these things just come in waves? Do you think people are scared of swatting? And I mean, part of me has the theory that like mission accomplished. You know, they're not. We don't see them in hideouts, people handing stuff out. They're not outside of the test center anymore trying to recruit people. So part of me thinks, well, what more is there? But it's an interesting thing to ponder.
Yeah, I feel like I would say sort of yes and no because let me think how I want to phrase this. There's a number of different factors that are at play. Basically, for one thing, I don't think it's typical to. This is essentially the first time that we've had this many people protesting consistently every day while also live streaming to an audience of people on the internet. Like, that's a new thing.
Right, so that just feels right. You start off as 2 or 3 people anyway.
And so when I think back to previous movements to protest against Scientology, one of the bigger ones being Anonymous around 2008 or so, I know that there were a handful of dates that were picked, and those dates ended up being worldwide protest dates. So at all kinds of major cities worldwide where there were Scientology organizations, activists were gathering to protest. I feel like these days, a handful of things have happened in the last year or so between Danny Masterson's sentencing and then William Good's encounter with the Scientology security guard in front of the testing center.
Incidents have spiked in.
Those have set off a few different, and really just a movement of many people protesting Scientology, some of them with an organization like Eat Predators or with just other individuals they're friends with, and some people just really on their own. And nowadays, I don't think that some people, I do see people say from time to time, admit it, like people on Reddit, admit it, it's over. Like the movement is coming to an end. And sure, it's not, we might not regularly see days that 15 people are out here multiple times a week.
Pretty much every day.
Yeah,
You know?
Chris definitely still tends to be consistent out here. Solomon, he makes it out here a good amount. There's still people who do, yeah. There's still people who are putting in the time and are putting in the effort. And I mean, at the end of the day, there's not only one way to protest. Another thing on the note of what people are saying in the Reddit, what people are saying online, I know that there are a handful of people who will kind of just talk crap on this general approach of just being outside the Scientology buildings, just walking around and talking. And I mean, I hear them. I get what they're saying. That's not typically what people think of when they imagine protest. When they hear protest, they imagine holding signs and leading chants, that type of thing, which there hasn't been as much of in this movement.
Every time, but that's like, it's like apples to oranges, right? Because they're saying, well, why aren't you holding signs and having a critical mass? We've done those. Protesters have done those at events that require critical mass at specific events. That can't happen day after day after day after day. What has to happen is what we've been doing is we have to have a constant presence on the ground, so we shut out the recruiting, so we shut out even the secret recruiting where people are undercover. That's been successful, and that we have to continue to do because we can't let up. Because the moment they could catch their breath is the moment they could go out and get people to join their call. As for the times we've had signs, we had an encampment for a week. We had a massive convoy that kind of noised around the whole neck of the woods. Ideal Org's opening that I was in Chicago, the one in Austin. Mexico City, there was a small presence. So, you know, they act as if there's a major yearly event happening every day, but it's a completely different approach. So, that's my message to people. I love to read Reddit because I find it fascinating.
Yeah, me too, to be honest.
Detached from, and you know, it's just like the division of MAGA versus, you know, people who are overly obsessed with the Democrats, either or. You could be the best person in the world. If you like Biden and the other person likes Trump, you will hate that person. And you will interpret every little thing. You know, every sentence will be interpreted and twisted in a negative or positive way. So it's the same shit. They don't like that, you know, a lot of people have friendships, parents with Levin, with some other people, and because they hate the singular person, they will by proxy, by reflex. It's not personal, that's why I'm not so mad about it. They will hate us. They will hate each and every, they might say they like this one protester, but they'll like that one protester because that protester is talking shit about the other 95% of the protesters. So that's the only reason. You know, somebody was like, I emotionally abused Becky because I made a meth in a tent joke. First off, it wasn't directed towards her. It was directed at DOA sees meth and everything. But it was like I was emotionally abusing her. But
oh, that's what somebody said in the Reddit?
But you look at their, you know, I said, oh, there's a tent, maybe Becky's in there, haha. You look at the emotional abuse that they might have been. And it's a lot of schoolyard children screaming. So to me, it's adorable and hilarious. But for other people, I'm used to it because when you're in local TV news, the only time you get comments is when they're negative. So I've grown up with it. It's like second nature to me. And I find it fascinating and amusing. It's part of this bizarre circus. And it means that you're getting recognition. And people don't like that if you are not allied with their team. That's why my title of my stream, most annoying streamer according to Reddit.
I didn't notice that. That's funny. I do want to take a moment to say hey to my chat. Hi, Marina. Hi, X. I see some friends have come in. Hi, Lana. And I mean, also on top of that, I feel like as far as this not being what a typical protest looks like, I feel like there can still be value found in talking about Scientology's abuses and having this just be the location where we meet up. I mean, especially on a day like today that we attended a hearing and we already did a live stream outside of the courthouse to talk about generally what happened today, but even still, I've continued to just kind of think about some of the things that we saw and think about what the implications of them could be. Because for those who didn't happen to catch that stream, the short story is we attended a hearing in the Jane Doe v. RTC case today, and the case was today's hearing was a case management conference, and it was continued to October. But Dodge and I stayed at the courthouse for a little bit to use the court computers to look up documents related to the case.
Yeah, a lot of nuggets.
And we saw that Jane Doe's mother, who is still a Scientologist, has filed a declaration. The defense has filed a declaration of Jane Doe 1's mother, basically calling Jane Doe 1 a liar and saying that she'll be willing to testify in court to testify to everything that she's saying. Everything she's saying is true, according to her. One thing that made me think of after we finished streaming is that is a tactic that Scientology has used before, or it was used in the Danny Masterson criminal case to intimidate Claire Headley. Because Claire Headley, in the second Danny Masterson trial, she was the expert witness testifying on Scientology, testifying as an expert on Scientology for all the years that she spent in Scientology. And once the prosecution was able to get her confirmed as a witness who was going to testify at the beginning of the trial, the defense put up their own expert witness on Scientology, and it was her stepfather. And now the defense did not end up calling her at all. And also in that case, the defense was not, the Church of Scientology was not they weren't the ones being tried, but we know that they were involved in defense, in certain strategies by the defense. But in the end, her stepfather did not end up testifying. The defense didn't end up calling any witnesses in either trial. But by putting that up, that's the kind of thing that could intimidate Claire, or that the church could hope would intimidate Claire out of testifying. So it's not surprising to me that they would pull something like this at this stage in the game. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing the lawsuit continue to move forward anyway. But, oh goodness, that was certainly something that I didn't expect to see today.
Yeah, it was like surprise after surprise after surprise. Jacob also discovered Miscavige now has two main squeezes as his attorney. One of them was the main attorney for Jamie Spears, that's Britney's father, in the conservator battle. Yeah,
that's Alex Weingarten.
Yes, that was Alex Weingarten, exactly.
Yeah, see?
That was interesting. And then another little nugget is that Gavin Potter, all of this boils down to a higher up in Scientology married this girl, and this now woman felt like it's a coerced marriage. But he remarks, or the mother remarks, the mother of this girl who is pro-Scientology, who's still a Scientologist, she remarks that she had paid for these amazing weddings and that she even got her champagne, which is like, the mother just admitted in her filing that Gavin Potter, at least to her knowledge, was allowing a minor to consume alcohol in his presence, under 21. So it's funny to see, they're not actually as talented as you think they are in terms of their legalese and their acumen. Because there's always dumb stuff they miss that just makes them look stupid.
Well, and the other thing is they'll do things that even if they'll be winning strategies from a legal perspective, they still don't make these people look moral. I mean, The way that this religious arbitration contract gets pulled out every time, have they historically been mostly successful with it? I mean, yeah, the church has had a lot of success with derailing lawsuits using that arbitration contract. Do Scientology's attorneys sound like they're representing a benign, benevolent organization when they pull out that strategy? No, of course not. But that doesn't mean that it hasn't been a winning strategy before. Yeah. So I hope that the cases that are currently faced with that contract are able to get through it. But as I know you've seen, Valerie Haney's case. Well, although there was a development in her case in the last few weeks. Did you happen to see what's going on there? No. So to give everybody a little bit of context, because I know I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but we were just talking about the Jane Doe v. Religious Technology Center lawsuit. There's another lawsuit that's playing out in LA, which is Valerie Haney v. Scientology. And Valerie Haney is another ex-Sea Org member. She left the Sea organization by escaping in the back of a non-Scientologist actor's car, escaping from the international base. That was in 2016. And they brought her back so that she could avoid being declared a suppressive person and stay in contact with her family. And so she's suing for some of the abuse that she underwent throughout that whole process. And her case was successfully forced into religious arbitration, where the Church of Scientology pulled out the contract that all Scientologists have to sign when they're in, that says they will not sue the church. They'll take any grievances they have to internal religious arbitration. And unfortunately, the judge in Valerie Haney's case, Gail Kellifer, sided with that contract, said a contract's a contract. And so now Valerie has undergone 5 full days of grueling interrogation by Scientology. That's the thing, is it's not really arbitration because Scientology has all the power. She's already undergone 5 days, and the judge has basically given the go-ahead for an additional 5 days. You were at that hearing with me, right? Yeah. So the church will be moving forward with an additional 5 days, as we understand it. And even then, there's no guarantee that we'll be done after those 5.
Deadline, right? I mean, they could say, the judge. I mean, can it be possible where they're like, okay, we've now tried 3 different bouts of attempted religious arbitration? Is there like with getting served, for example? Can the judge say, all right, great, you've tried, or can it be endless? Can they just take it back into arbitration 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more times?
That's what we have to find out. That's what we're going to find out here. And my memory is that Valerie's attorney at that hearing was doing what he could to try to push the judge for an answer about when can we expect a deadline. And the judge just really doesn't want to get involved with interpreting any element of the arbitration. Now, the thing that happened recently is that there was a recent Supreme Court ruling which overturned, or at least Valerie's team is arguing that it overturned a previously set precedent. I'm blanking on the name of the case right now. My memory is that it involved Coinbase. But the previous Supreme Court, what's it called? The previous precedent that was set by the Supreme Court decades ago is that in questions of whether or not a contract was signed under duress, when the contract involves arbitration, the question of whether or not it was signed under duress, according to previous precedent, is that question should be answered by the arbitrator, not by the court. Well, Valerie's team has now made a filing with the court that look at this recent ruling from the Supreme Court that overturns that precedent. And I can't say I know all of the details of the case, but that's what Valerie's team is arguing, is that it overturns that precedent so that now the court should be able to rule that the contract was signed under duress, and therefore the judge should be able to basically quash the motion to compel arbitration filed by the church. And I will also say that that case is in Florida. So I've gotten used to following the cases that are out here in, no, excuse me, I'm misspeaking. I've started thinking, my head started jumping to another one. Yeah, Valerie Haney and Jane Doe, those are both in California. And I'm hopeful that the judge will rule in Valerie's favor, and that the judge will be able to look back at the previous ruling where he forced the case into arbitration and say, oh, the law has changed, I can go back on that now. But I just don't know if the law works that way. So we'll see.
Well, they have precedent on their side, and they have the Supreme Court on their side.
They've got the Supreme Court on their side? Well, that's if the judge is interpreting it the same way that they are. Because as I understand it, they have already, as I understand it, the Church of Scientology has already filed their opposition to that declaration, or to that, I can't recall if it's a declaration or a motion that was filed by Valerie's team, arguing that that case should be revisited. Oh, you got it? So we'll see. We'll see what, we'll see how the judge reacts. I'm not sure how long to expect an answer to take, especially when the judge has already forced the case into arbitration, because I kind of get the point. Honestly, do you want to just finish that one, since I've still got a couple more? And I can, if you want me to put it in my bag, I don't mind hanging on to it. But, okay. Let me just go ahead and open up another water really quick here. It is hot today.
It's really hot.
There was also, I started thinking of Florida for a second, because there was a recent development in Florida too. Did you hear about that?
I can't know. Was that the child trafficking suit against Miscavige, or no?
Okay, so
Child labor trafficking?
So actually, you know what? Maybe some folks in my chat are paying attention too. But I'm feeling everything that I just said about that Supreme Court thing. Now I'm second guessing myself. Maybe it was Valeska's team that did all that. Because the thing is, there's 2 lawsuits right now that are forced into religious arbitration. It's Valerie Haney's, yes, and then Baxter v. Miscavige in Florida. Now, Baxter v. Miscavige, that's the labor trafficking case with the 3 ex-Sea Org members who are Australian. So that's the plaintiffs in that case are Valeska Paris, Gawain Baxter, and Laura Baxter. They're all citizens of Australia. They were all brought into the Sea Org as children and spent at least some time at the Flagland base in Clearwater, Florida, which is where Scientology's spiritual headquarters is. Now, that case was filed, I want to say, in spring of 2022 or something like that. And they had an interesting kind of saga of making attempts to serve Miscavige and submitting to the court all of their documentation of the attempts that they had made. But ultimately they weren't able to get in touch with him, but by their deadline that the court gave them, they were able to submit documentation that was sufficient for the judge to rule that Miscavige had been served. Unfortunately, it was shortly after that the judge did rule favorably in the motion to compel arbitration, so that case was forced into arbitration. Now, unlike Valerie Haney's case in LA, that Baxter case has not undergone any days of arbitration yet. And now that I'm saying all this out loud, and if anybody in the chat wants to look at recent articles from Tony Ortega or look at recent posts from whoever may be covering this to determine which legal team was it that recently filed some notice with the court to have the judge revisit their case in light of the recent Supreme Court ruling on arbitration. But in any case, I'll certainly check on that once I get off of here as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
So I was starting to say there's a new lawsuit that's in Florida too. I figure if you're down to just chat for a little bit and go through these. Whitney Mills are you familiar with her?
With the wrongful death? No.
Yes, that's right. So Whitney Mills is an ex-Scientologist. Well, she was a Scientologist. She died by suicide, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of 2022. Now, her mother and other members of her family are suing the Church of Scientology for wrongful death, and they're actually citing some interesting well, I say interesting, messed up, some messed up Scientology teachings. Apparently, according to the lawsuit, Whitney Mills, who is an OT8 Scientologist, like she's at the top of Scientology's big bridge to total freedom. Apparently, she was experiencing some severe mental health struggles at the end of her life, and went in for Scientology counseling. And I guess that there's the idea in Scientology of past lives, and we're just this body's a piece of meat. We're Thetans, and we'll have future lifetimes and future bodies. She may have been convinced that if she can't get the treatment that she needs in this body, that it's time to go ahead and move on to the next body, drop this body and move on to the next one. So the idea.
Stay with us.
Oh goodness.
It might be his reincarnation.
Oh gosh.
Oh, sorry. What
So on those grounds, bringing up those teachings, the Mills family, Whitney Mills' mother, is now suing Scientology for wrongful death.
So I'm curious, did anything happen as a precedent? Did anything happen with the Lisa McPherson situation? I assume there was a lawsuit.
Lisa McPherson?
Yeah, that was the original person who died in
Yeah.
the hotel.
So there were pending criminal charges, I think, for a little bit, and I think that through some intense fair game by the church, and possibly some harassment of the doctor nearby, they were able to get the right records destroyed, and in any case, no criminal charges were ultimately filed. Or there was no ultimate criminal.
Civil lawsuit.
There was a civil lawsuit, if I'm not mistaken, and my memory is that it took many, many years for the lawsuit to finally be resolved, and I think ultimately it was a settlement.
Okay.
Well, that's the kind of thing that
They have
tends to
enough
happen.
juice to, like, there's enough there where they did settle. So hopefully there's enough there where Whitney's family. I mean, that's always up to them if they want to settle or win a case or whatever they want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that with all of the cases that are pending, the civil cases, some of them, the Scientology attorneys may have even already offered a settlement, but I don't really think that these plaintiffs are looking to settle, because I think these plaintiffs want justice.
Respect.
These plaintiffs want Scientology to lose their lawsuit and have to make amends.
Right.
And a settlement won't necessarily accomplish that. Now I know that it has happened in the past where Scientology has been able to delay and get a case to just be dragged out for as long as possible. And then I'm blanking on the plaintiff's name right now, but there was some lawsuit pending against them within the last 10 or 15 years, I believe. And it was that same tactic of delay. Finally, the plaintiffs were able to get trial dates set, and shortly before the trial was set to start, they were able to get an order from the court to ensure that Miscavige would be required to appear in court for the trial, and then Miscavige wrote a huge check, and that was where it ended.
Funny. So that's the pressure. The pressure is he does not ever want to show his face anywhere. So get him to the point where he has to be on the stand, he has to testify, he has to do something. But then, of course, you're right. I mean, I think a lot of people, it's not the point just to settle it. The point is to create precedents and bring them down. And
Exactly.
First give them justice, and then also bring them down. And the way you do that is by these lawsuits generate press. They generate mainstream media attention. And Scientology is weakened ever more because of it.
Yeah. Gosh.
Want to do another little walk around?
Yeah, I'm down. And hello to everybody joining in the chat. Hello to Jeff Reborn now. Hello, Emma.
Hi to anybody in the chat yet. Two guys in LA.
Curious about
What's going on?
Scientology?
Two guys
You're
in
not
LA
alone.
talking. Good question. The Lord of Donald Trump's right here. What is we are checking in on the Scientology version. And I'm an anti-Scientology.
I love it.
But if you want to learn more, just search my name on Reddit. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I'll tell you the truth.
Oh gosh.
Sounds more
My charger fell out. One moment.
Detective Aluda, how are you? Comment in the chat. Emma Robinson, I'm currently in a conversation with Mormon crimes, where it's the same crap Religious crimes are
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
We can't be stopping.
Go.
All right, and I do see the security guard once again. I do anticipate he may try to stop us in our tracks, but as I do understand, we're good to keep walking.
Oh, sorry, my fingers moving, guys. Whoops. Oh wait, am I flipped?
Yeah.
Guys, am I flipped?
Are you? We're just gonna pass through real quick again. We're legally allowed to pass through though, right? Well, but the sidewalk's not private property. I know we're not.
Public event.
Well, was the other side better? The other side's not better? Well, but it's not. I mean, it's legal though, right? It's not legal for me to walk on the sidewalk. You can't let me?
What if I walk backwards? What if I sing Fleetwood Mac while I do it?
Oh, I'm not trying to stop in the sidewalk. I'm just trying to get through. Just keep on walking that way. Okay, but can you show me a law that says that I can? Well, if you can show me a law. Okay, I can go to the other side. I'm happy to. But if I'd like to know if there's a law that you can cite that tells that is what law I'm breaking if I'm doing this. Because as I understand it, I am welcome to walk across the sidewalk, right? Yeah, so we can walk on this sidewalk, and we're just gonna keep walking. We won't stop. We'll just keep walking straight. What? No, I can't. No, stop walking or.
Publicly accessible. The sidewalk is permitted for us to walk upon it.
So, what was that?
No, I was just saying. We're
In the
permitted to
distance?
walk on
Okay.
the sidewalk.
That's my understanding. We've done some research into it, and that's my understanding is that if you've got the street permitted off, then we can't be in the street. But as long as we're on the sidewalk and as long as we're not like just stopping, and that's even what you said the first time too. I've never seen it. If you pull it out for me, then I'll see it. What'd you say? I've the last time I was here was about June 6th or so. It was the first few days of June. It's been a minute for me. Yeah, I was in here about June. I don't think that the permit that was then would have been the same. Is there a new permit between now and then?
It is the same one.
My memory back then is the permit was from June 1st to June 9th, and then I think they had another one that started shortly after that. And I'm not sure what the permit is right now. So I haven't seen one that's good through July 16th. But if you get it for me, then I'd be happy to take a look at it. Oh, that we can look it up online? Public information. What website? I'm having a conversation with Scientology now.
I like it. You got your
On
own
the
Knight
walkie-talkie.
Rider.
Yeah, if you can let me know the website, that would be great.
Pretty sure they know how to use Google.
Google? I mean, I can look it up on. I can look up public street. Do I just look up public street?
I'm gonna look it up on Telex. Telex should happen. Hopefully.
So what would I should I just search like public or Church of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard Way, a public parking permit, or I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
I'm curious. Do you ever watch the streams? Not allowed to say. No pressure. I hope you do. Ah, bummer. I'm sorry to hear that. Some fun stuff. We have some good times. I'll sing Fleetwood Mac. What if I was in a band and I was performing on the stage? I might. You never know. They might hire
there's not
20-piece bands.
more performance there.
I might be one of the 20 people.
We had a performer singing live over there a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
but I don't see it there anymore.
I feel kind of bad when kids are performing.
What was that?
I feel kind of bad when kids are performing.
I know. I wanted to see more of the performance.
Oh, what up, Vanessa Rose? Guys, subscribe to Vanessa Rose. Yeah, I was saying Fleetwood Mac because she was singing. What was she singing? Was she singing Landslide or the other one? I can't remember. One of them two songs.
All right, there we are.
I felt really betrayed. He said he didn't watch it.
I gotta say though,
I had a fan.
I gotta say that was funny having the conversation back and forth with the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, that was really.
That I haven't done that before.
It's like
Yeah,
Knight Rider. It's like the car.
that's right.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, we don't need to wait. There's nobody driving this way.
Well, this is good. We put them on their toes and freaks them out.
Okay, so I do see
That was fun.
people in the chat.
Me too.
saying, don't stop, don't need a permit to video in public. First Amendment, stop with the ignorance. Y'all, so my understanding is it's not the filming that they need a permit, that has nothing to do with the permit. What we need, or what they need, is to have a permit to be allowed to tell us that we can't be in the street. And my understanding, and I'm not even 100% sure about this, so if anybody has any conflicting information, feel free to let me know. But my understanding is that on the sidewalk, we can walk, we just can't stop. And so that's why I was doing what I was doing.
This is good evidence because, listen, in the future, when there is a Hollywood council meeting, for example, we could use this as tangible evidence. Here we are, two people being respectful the entire time. We didn't stop once. We didn't film anybody specifically. We listened to the orders that the guy gave us. And we are members of the public. We're entitled to walk down that street. The permit is gone.
Yeah.
So this is very good tangible evidence to say even, because they're going to throw shit at us and be like, well, some of the protesters scream or whatever and do this and that and disturb the peace. And they could use the disturbing the peace perhaps arguably as some sort of impediment. But this is like we're doing no such thing. And so, now, I mean, many people have walked through this before. It's not like we're the only ones. But it's good to have. Because it just adds up to the evidence that, this is not democratic. People are allowed freedom of movement in this country.
That's right.
And if it's an open public sidewalk and you have no permit, then anybody could go, as long as arguably they are not disturbing the peace. And nobody in that event felt disturbed by our presence.
I would agree. And that security guard, he was starting to block me before we crossed over to the other side of the street, which that is obstructing my movement on the sidewalk. Yes. And of course that was while he was still...
I'll put that in my back pocket. You listening to Scientology?
And it wouldn't be obstructing my path if he was just standing in one spot. I was kind of looking into this because of, I don't know if you followed the Nance Drew case at all. But in her case, as what I learned, as I understand it, is that if you are obstructing someone's path by just standing still, so like if you just stand still and then don't move, then they can walk around you. So that's not obstructing their path. Yeah. But if you're standing, blocking their way and then moving, now you're at fault if there's a collision.
And therein lies the difference.
And don't get me wrong, I do not want to collide with the guy. I will go out of my way to avoid that. But he was obstructing my path and not just standing still, but actually moving while I was. So, something to note.
And you can obviously, and even the whole following us is like, that's not very kosher. You could put that in your back pocket for something too.
Well, I don't know that that's any evidence of any kind of wrongdoing that could be brought up as like evidence. Well, I mean, there's an argument to be made.
Targeting somebody for free speech, making them feel intimidated. I think it's a stretch, but you use any stretch you could use. It's everything you use in your arsenal in a court of law, or at a meeting, or at a political meeting, or whatever it might be. And so somebody is, you could argue that somebody is trying to intimidate you for expressing your First Amendment rights. And who knows? That's the healthy part of this, right? Is we all accumulate little bits of evidence of how they're blatantly violating the law and blatantly violating people's civil liberties. So you ask us, like, why do we do it? It's all this stuff. And there's a whole pot of gold of shit to just throw back at them.
Indeed.
Because we can't. It's harder. It's harder to, the layers of power are so entrenched. It's harder to take them to court for child trafficking. It's harder to do all that. It's harder to take them to court for covering up sexual abuse. But we can make our presence known. We could stay planted here. We could stop them from their recruiting efforts. And we could point out how they're breaking the law on a more basic surface level.
Sure, yeah. After all, that is the nature of an audit.
Isn't it ever? Imagine children going through the same thing, says Eyes to See. Yes, that is sad. Child labor helps pay the LAPD overtime. Yeah, they very much do. You're right about that.
Yeah, Trent, I'm doing what I can to pay attention to the chat when I can, but some messages I may miss. Tell them I need a personality test ASAP. I mean, they've already told me I'm not welcome there. I've tried doing what I can to see what they've been willing to give me in the past, and they don't want me on their property. You got the hair.
Pull it off.
That's right.
But yeah, well, A for effort.
Indeed. Dude, I always get so frustrated by this sign. Because it's confusing. No stopping, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. except Saturday and Sunday. 2-hour parking, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. 2-hour parking, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday.
Exact time.
Yeah. So between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m., there's on Saturdays, there's no stopping, but you can park. But never mind, because it says except Saturday and Sunday up there. I seriously get so confused every time. Oh, you. Well, there was another protester who got a parking ticket a few months ago that ended up consuming basically the entire rest of his night.
Really? Why? Parking ticket?
You were compared to you may have compared yourself to this journalist a little bit earlier.
Daniel Salem?
No.
Zachary?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like Sam Zachary Biden. I'm continuing the tradition. We need it. We need the next chapter. I'll never be as good.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness gracious.
I mean, I'll never get to be on Zeke's show, and that hurts me. But other than that, I'm almost like that. I want to be like Mike. I want to be whacked like that.
All right. Do you want to go around this way and see if there's anything interesting on the other side of the building?
Let's do it.
All right. Oh, you got it.
Oh yeah,
Hurry,
sorry,
cross.
I'm a New Yorker, so I don't pay attention to stories.
Just cross.
Yeah, that's what we do.
See, the security guard's got his eyes on us.
Got my eyes, give a little peace.
I've got my eyes on you.
Take a whole lot of beating.
Whole lot of thetans, is that what you said? I think that it's around here that Chris may have encountered recruiters before.
They hollered at me before they knew who I was. They were adorable. Then I was like, oh.
The recruiters?
Yeah. Well, they want to give me something, but they're trying to like lure me in.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about that.
Oh, sorry. My finger keeps fingering the screen.
Oh yeah, Marina reminded me those signs that we looked at back here are the reason that Confident
Yeah,
Chris comes out here to free
by
the
way,
cars.
Tell your friend Marina I'm sorry. I can't. She said I called her something or did something. So tell your friend Marina. Oh, my bad. I can't keep track of all the mod stories.
Well, Dodge apologizes, Marina. I don't know if I know the story there.
I don't know it either, but she said I said something or people were calling her something and I joined in.
Well,
I don't have any moderators in my chat, so keep them.
I may have lost signal for a sec there, but now I'm back. I was just in the middle of praising my mods for keeping the drama out of my chat, which is actually it's impressive because I feel like I'm one of the only people in this community that will get really political and will actually talk about my political views a lot, which I would think that would make my chat more divided and have more drama, but yeah, the mods and I have been holding it down.
Yeah. Part of it's based on the person. Whatever the case might be. Or that's the thing too. How many moderators do you have?
Oh, sorry. I think total like 7. They're not usually all in at the same time though.
40 mods.
Yeah, Danny especially, he'll do mod sprees where he'll just mod everybody that's in the chat. So all the messages are blue. All of them have wrenches.
But that does cause consternation. You're not doing it like a fun thing like that. It's like you're making 10 people your moderators. It's going to be a difference of thought and a difference of opinion.
Indeed.
It can be a recipe for success.
I don't know. Some people do a really good job of making sure their mods are always on the same page. Mindy is on calls with her mods like every day. I'm like impressed by the dedication of her and all of her mods. Honestly, I probably could do a better job of communication with my mods as far as letting them know when I'm gonna go live. And so if you're a mod, I know that I haven't been great about letting y'all know in advance when a live stream is coming, but I'm working on it, y'all. Thanks for all you do. All the mods are appreciated.
Well, yeah, but moderators mainly needed, I guess, for people that have it, you know, to shut down overly hostile attacks or things that are, you know, heinously inappropriate.
I mean, that's really why I needed to get mods originally. When I was still relatively new to YouTube, I was doing a live stream where I wasn't paying close attention to the chat for a while, and people, at least, yeah, exactly. It's spell slurs one letter at a time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That same guy did that to me.
Oh, is that right?
He's the only one I've ever blocked.
So yeah, that was when I realized I do need some mods.
One of my comments said, Amy. Mods should be mostly invisible, in my opinion, says Amy. What a name for a username. Yeesh. You need to grow up. Mod Squad. If the road is closed, it's closed for cars, not pedestrians. True that.
Indeed.
Says Olka Kex. I don't know how to say her damn name. Well, if I ever go out protesting, I will have to have mods. You don't have to. I don't have any mods. I'm talking to the person my chat eyes to see. Dodge his finger. Yeah, I keep fingering everything. Sorry, guys. Oh, I think I'm all cut up with my chat. Imagine being a Democrat for the next 16 to 20 years. Yikes. Well, that was out of left field. Okay.
Oh, it looks like the security guard prepared for us on this side.
Yes, queen.
I wasn't even planning to turn at this point necessarily. I was thinking I might go back to the front of the Big Blue.
Me?
Oh yeah, we see. Oh, so some kind of celebration being prepared for. How's it going?
We're not even going to go in this time. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But if like you do want to give away an extra balloon, I could use one. They look fun. I haven't played with a balloon in like 10 years.
Hope the celebration over there is going fun.
Yeah. Yeah, whose birthday is it? Can you say that? Tell him happy birthday. At least I got a laugh out of him. You thought it was funny. Do you think about going live eyes to see? What? They're busy trying to pay bills. See, this, maybe I should have my kids. I don't know what the other people are talking about on the damn chat. Are you talking about the security? Yeah, I guess security's trying to pay his bills. Fair. You're pleasant with him. How was the weather there in Planterville? It's hot. Well, I'm
Yeah, Trent, I don't know how that'd go.
I'm not a large man.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm gonna get some more water.
Marina is the best moderator. Yeah, again, apologize to Marina for me. I did not mean to target Marina.
She says thanks in my chat.
And Marina, I'll reread your message and shoot me an email as to like, I
gosh.
might have ganged up on you because we were talking about Dempsey or something, and everybody was
A dang
insulting
selfie
somebody
stick.
Dempsey. Imagine coming into the live
Goodness
stream
gracious.
and baiting people with off-topic inflammatory comment. Well, let's get off-topic and let's get inflammatory. How about that?
Yeah, we've already been out here for almost an hour.
Yeah.
If folks have additional questions they want to ask, whether or not they're relevant to the main topic at hand here, Dodge and I are open to having other conversations too.
Yeah, I'll pick up my dog probably about 20-30 minutes.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
We'll chill for a little bit.
I love that you've got like the formal shirt and pants and then the wheat socks. Can I put that on my stream?
Absolutely, yes, definitely.
You've got that pink shirt, these nice pants, and the wheat socks. Oh, I love it.
Not only can you put me on stream, you could even put me on Jeff's stream. I will let you do that. How about that?
Jeff stream? Which one is that?
He got mad because there's one of the gentlemen who I've met a bunch of times. The gentleman who said he's from Mexico. I feel bad. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
But he's really cool. He's here almost like every other day. I like him a lot. But do you know Jeff, the bulging guy, Jeff? It's so much drama. It's hard to keep track of all of this shit.
Yeah, I think this is Jeff Delshad, if I'm not mistaken.
So.
Yeah.
With the beard.
Yeah.
So he was
Ozzy calls him Jeff the Plant.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So he was yelling at that gentleman because he didn't want to be on camera. He kept pressuring him to be on camera, so that's what my inside joke was about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know what to make of him. By the way, I'm not sure if they're strict about us sitting on the ledge right here. I don't. Maybe they're not.
I've never been trespassed.
True. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand there. But
Sorry.
I don't know what to make of that guy because
I think he's just a troll that thinks it's funny to
that's the thing is I wondered, is he really Scientology? Is he OSA, or is he just a troll? Like I think that, yeah, who knows? I mean, some people, their choice is to just turn their back on him when he comes, and I mean, at the end of the day, that's a choice that they're totally allowed to make. I see him talking on his walkie-talkie. He keeps like looking at us for a sec. Yep. Mm-hmm. I just gotta know what's going through that guy's head. Like if he feels any kind of remorse or damn, that
They're intentionally making it
the
loud.
walkie-talkie is so loud. You see him saying something about smoking on the property?
Oh, I've never heard that, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the law would be, but
if you put a cigarette, I'll put it out.
okay.
You're gonna have the balls to tell me first. Oh God, don't stop talking about Dempsey. Yeah, Reddit has like 3 hate posts about Perry, but I think it's kind of funny.
Who is Dempsey? Or is that
I don't know,
any
man, that's some
interesting?
drama. I thought Dempsey is like Patrick Dempsey from General Hospital.
The McDreamy?
McDreamy, yes, exactly, yes, McDreamy, yes. And I'm like, there's apparently some other Dempsey. Yeah, I can't pay attention. Hate posts. You made it right. That's why I'm not going to name names, but some people personally are affected by the Reddit posts. And I'm trying to tell them, like, dude, you made it. As this commenter says.
Yeah, I mean, just about everybody.
ICC says that. Like, if you make it on Reddit, that means you've made it. And it's like it's a badge of honor. That means they're trying to silence you because you're actually affecting meaningful change. It's like...
And I mean, ultimately, anybody who's a public figure, whether it's Reddit or anywhere else, if you're up as a public figure, you're subjecting yourself for the entire public to say anything about, to be able to, yeah.
And I'm not entirely mad at them either. Like, I mean, some of this stuff is gross.
Yeah.
And disgusting. But that's most comments on the internet. So it's not like they're more evil than the average commenter. And they genuinely feel that what we're doing is wrong. And they genuinely feel that because they don't like Aaron. That's it. And, you know, I like Aaron. I support him. They have their reasons for disliking him. So... I don't even have as much hatred as other, like, I find them absurd little babies. I think they're kind of adorable. But, like, I don't even have that same amount of vitriol. Because they're so vitriolic, but it's just, they feel we are evil for whom we associate with. And that's it. That's their emotion about it. And the person that they hate, they think that person is evil. I don't think that.
I think Aaron is evil? Is that what
They think that, yes. I don't think that at all. But that's why they hate me. That's why, you know, they hate anybody who has any connection with him. And it's just guilt. The whole thing is guilt by association. You know, it's like everything. It's like people could talk about me, and if you like me, you could say, oh, Dodge is really good at getting the facts. He travels to these places. He makes the effort. He has the charisma. He has the energy. He's able to be deft and quick on his feet. Or you could say he gets things wrong constantly. He got fired from all of his jobs. He's a loser. He lives off his parents' money. Fuck that. What a fucking piece of shit. Who is right? Who is wrong? Everything is subjective. All I know is that I feel like I'm doing good work. I'm providing information that people don't know. You know, it was funny because I watched. Speaking of Zach, I watched the interview with Zach on ZDT, and he was so full of himself. And it's like, I don't have that same emotion. It's like, you know, am I a journalist? I feel like I do journalistic work. I would say yes. Am I an investigative journalist? No. Am I a journalist all the time? No. Am I offended if somebody says I'm not a real journalist? No. Because I know that 80%, 85% of the people, that's why I have an open forum, say, thanks, Dodge. I didn't know that bit of information. I'm glad you showed up and relayed us that information. And I feel like I'm providing a service. And so
totally.
Is like, why dwell on it other than the fact that it's kind of cool from a narcissistic point of view that you're being talked about all the time. But it's hard.
I get you.
It's hard to have a thick skin like that. You have to, you know, be in it for a while.
I hear you. And yeah, for what it's worth, I definitely would agree that you do good work, and it's good to have more folks. It was nice to have you in the courthouse today, so we were able to have a little chat afterward. That was definitely fun.
And you're on the ball with that, and you really know the ins and outs of those cases even much more than I do. But yeah, I'm able to bring my talent to ask the right questions. Well, how will the media see this? What, you know, potential repercussions 6 months down the road does this development project? Whatever. And, you know, we all have things that we contribute, and I think as long as we all have good intentions, then that's all you have to worry about. Comment, hi Dodge, I haven't cut a live in a long time. How's Dog? He's good. Thank you, Amber Vanessa. I'm going to pick him up in about an hour, half hour.
Right on.
What did you say? You're not saying anything. Are you saying metaphorically, somebody in my chat, or literally? Are you saying that I was just speaking hot air, or do you literally not hear me? Do you and F the haters? Yeah, you know, it's not even like, oh, fuck the haters. Like, because then you have to be emotional and be like, the haters give me life. Like, I do this for my haters. I don't do this for my haters. I'm honored. I'm flattered by my hater. I'm like my hater. My haters hate me. I like them. Because I'm anybody involved in news, or I was in politics before, they're somewhat narcissistic. So maybe that's a double-edged sword of being narcissistic, where it almost rolls off of you, and you're just happy people are talking about it. You know.
Oh, I definitely hear that. There's really something to be said there too.
Johanna, here's my point. Johanna, my point is, it is a simple message that people make nasty comments online, and that you really shouldn't feel bad about that. Because if you feel like you're doing good work, you should be proud. And I'm not saying that's a compliment myself, Johanna. I'm saying it so other streamers who I know who have personally felt.
Hearing that walkie-talkie loud again.
Cool. Go for it, man.
Maybe just for a sec. Oh, maybe it wasn't even about us. Maybe it's about that bike coming through.
Johanna said, I said I'll have to be honest. Johanna, you're always welcome here. Talking shit. I'll talk to you about that. I'm not talking to you. I'm happy you're in this chat. I sound like a crazy person talking to myself. Johanna says, who cares? All you said had no... I think I had a lot of you. I think it makes people...
And one thing that I will... As far as the whole journalist question, I know this is something you and I have talked about too, because it's always kind of something that I wrestle with. Like, would I consider myself more of an activist or more of a journalist? And can you be both?
Mm-hmm. It's like teenage angst.
Yep.
It doesn't mean anything. You know, yeah, I know you are a journalist because you know your shit and you relay information that people need to know.
Well, thank you. But I mean, at the same time,
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, and
you see the comments too on the official. Oh, that person's an activist, therefore they can't be a journalist. You know, oh, that person, you know, sacrificed their journalistic credentials because they're not objective. By the way, being a journalist doesn't mean you have to be objective. Neither of us are objective. We're anti-Scientology. We hate Scientology for legitimate reasons, for objective, legitimate reasons. But we both hate. So yes, I mean we're both objective journalists in the facts that, like, if a court case doesn't go the way of the anti-Scientologists, we're going to relay that information. And we're going to analyze things objectively and give both points on both sides and give you that information. But we're going to be on one, like we are on the side of wanting Scientology to be dead. You know? But that doesn't mean, you know, there's activists, there's a whole category called activist journalism. Some people hate that. Some people don't. Everyone has biases. Yeah, and some openly admit it more. The problem with a bias is when you pretend not to. Yeah. And then you have the bias. Like in mainstream news, when you do a lot of cover-up stuff that I was part of, it's like you pretend that you're purely straight down the middle, as if your anchors don't have an opinion, or as if the news director doesn't, but realize it's slanted in one direction or another.
Yeah, I can. A lot of that definitely resonates with me, and I can definitely echo that. A lot of what I see covered in the mainstream media, I tend to view as very biased. But
of course,
that's a whole other deep dive.
Yeah, but it is. And, we're more polarized than ever on any topic.
But yeah, I mean, as far as activism versus journalism, like another way that
says, isn't that gonzo journalism? Good way to put it.
I heard that term before? I'm sure I have. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. I mean, I feel like if I had to say which one I lean more toward, I would probably say activist, and it is. You got a nice straw hat. Got distracted there. I probably would say more activist because, but partly the objectivity and the fact that, or the subjectivity, the fact that I am definitely coming in with a strong opinion and a strong preconceived notion, even at the starts of trials. I already, like this new lawsuit that was just filed against Scientology, I already have some pretty strong feelings about it, and we haven't even been having hearings yet. It's just in the early stages. And I feel like as an activist, part of effective activism is staying up to date on what the current status of ongoing legal proceedings are.
Very much. Yeah.
And sometimes that involves going to hearings and relaying that information back to people. And well, if we're doing that, could that also be considered journalism?
Right.
Sure. But it's not necessarily a hill that it's important for me to die on, that like this is journalism, because that was one thing.
Yeah, we can't all be Zachary Biden. But, right, and that's the thing. It's like, but you could know that you're doing.
Let me get some more water. Totally, yeah.
You know, and we all. I mean, you know legalese like the back of your hand. So we all bring a certain amount of expertise in our unique niche.
As much as we can, indeed. I'm gonna wipe off my back camera here and see if that.
Carrie, it's hilarious your comments when people are complaining they want you to do impartial reporting. Once you have the facts, of course you have to. Right, I mean, we both first will gather the facts, and we'll give it to you straight in that regard. The interpretation might be, you know, maybe is overly optimistic, perhaps on the side of answering. Well, no, not even. You know, that's what we want, and we know we're rooting for, but not even that. So yeah, thank you.
See.
Thank God for you too, Zach. Thanks.
See, Trent says dudes thinking they're journalists. Dudes wipe their camera. What? Dudes thinking they're journalists. I mean, I feel like, explain. Yeah. Oh well, that's fine. We don't need to keep dwelling.
Damn it up. I gotta go to Tijuana with you. Remind me. Send me an email. She says, love you two guys. Yeah. So
that's Ham It Up again? That's Heather?
Yeah.
Nice. Hi, Heather. Oh. Well, how's your dog doing? Do you want to do another loop, or do you got to get going? All right. That sounds like a plan.
Pick up the poor dog, although he's probably fine with 7 a.m.
And yes, BR, this is the Scientology building. Right now, there are those big letters at that famous big blue building.
Once a hospital,
thank you, Lexi. Thank you, Kate.
Once a hospital where Jade Mansfield taught her.
Oh gosh.
And Marilyn Monroe. And it was the hospital, even early on, it was a safe haven for Jewish residents because it was the only medical center that would accept Jewish people. And so that's why they expanded, and that's why it became bigger and bigger. So it could be an anchor for the Jewish community that faces discrimination. So it's deeply ironic and tragic that this hospital that used to be a safe haven for freedom and a safe haven against discrimination has now become the centerpiece of modern day slavery.
Yes. What are the odds?
Which is the irony of Los Angeles, endlessly fascinating, very strange city to be from this next of the world.
Indeed. My goodness.
Yeah. I'm from your city, so I always wondered that. Why do you think there's no real Scientology presence or significant streamers in Manhattan, in New York City? I mean, part of me thinks, is Times Square where they have their church so busy where you wouldn't even notice 30 protesters anyway?
Well, I think it kind of comes down to, are there people out there who are following this movement, and maybe there just aren't. I know that there's at least one moderator for Confident Chris who lives out in New York City.
But that's the thing, though. But that doesn't make any sense because there's like 3 streamers in Sacramento. There's 2 in Portland. There's all these streamers in LA. There's a bunch in Austin, Pearl Snappy, Selfless Self. Chicago, Shannon. Chicago Scientology Audit. Like a lot. and yet, and of course, Florida has a fair amount and has that whole gang. So why is it that New York City literally doesn't have one consistent, well-known anything?
I don't know.
Maybe
It would be cool for that to change. That would be cool. Oh, that's right. I forgot that you were based out there.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah, there would certainly be a community.
My apartment's a 15-minute walk from there.
Oh, wow.
My mom's apartment, yeah.
Right on. I love it.
So I used to go by it all the. Me and my friends. The one time my friend heard about them, that must have been 16. I mean, my friend convinced me to go in just to because we thought they're so crazy. And this woman with these blank eyes is like, hey, why are you guys here? Like, oh, you want to learn more? And she's like, what are your names? And my friend was so nervous he didn't give her the name. And I'm like, and he nudging me don't say my name. Like, oh, I'm Dodge, and I don't know his name. And she's like, you don't know his name? And you guys are friends? And I'm like, oh yeah, we just met. And then she's like, hold on, I'll get you some really cool information. And then we just walked out. That was my literal only, I must have been 16, 17, was only experience of Scientology. But it's beautiful. The lobby is really pretty in Manhattan, though.
Yeah, I actually did visit an org there when I went there for vacation in February of 2023. I did go into one of their orgs and take a little bit of a tour.
Oh, cool.
Because that one, I mean, it was certainly a nice building, and it actually was not empty. There were people who were in there on course and getting recognized for the courses they'd completed, and I left a card for the Aftermath Foundation with the person who was at the front desk. I used a fake name. I think Jack Thompson was my go-to fake name back then.
That's pretty common.
Yeah, but I had a little bit of a conversation with a staff member who was talking to me about, all of the different ways that Scientology could improve my life. She said she'd been in for decades. And I started trying to ask some questions that might start to get the wheels turning in her head. And eventually she was, it sounds like you've read some weird stuff, haven't you? Once I can't even remember which question it was that got it there. But I think it was something about isn't there a concept that anything bad that happens to you, you pulled it in? And then she was like, you've read some weird stuff, haven't you?
Read some accurate stuff.
Yeah, and that's all by people who want to take down Scientology, and that will never happen, is essentially what she said.
Well, that's why we're here. Let's keep doing.
And they've got their org there right across the street from one of the Broadway theaters. I think it's Richard Rodgers Theater.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. You want to walk past on the other side of the street? We can.
Ballsy? All right, let's do it.
You can cross here.
Live. Oh, you're saying just cross this side.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna go leave the poor guy alone.
Oh, are you thinking of going this way?
You want to go? Let's do it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Well, where's your? I'm not sure where you're parked, but yeah, why not?
On the other side anyway.
Okay. Then yeah, why not?
This is hilarious.
One more. I don't even see the security guard right there this time.
It says stop making fun of their invisible friends at that party. Yeah, I was having fun of that.
The invisible fence.
Invisible friends.
Oh.
Invisible friends. It's just saying, look at all the kids here. It's so festive and fun. It's so well populated. And people are using the bouncing. What if I just started bouncing on that? You think they'd get mad?
It's risky. I mean, it's your life.
Taking my shoes off? Start bouncing for that.
It's your life, but it sounds like it could be risky.
Only the chat.
We're just walking through.
No. There has to be 5 people in the chat telling you to do it. Some point to do it though. Persistent gigs. I mean, it looks pretty tempting. Oh, you can't even bounce in it. Oh, it's not a bouncy castle. It's like a. It's like a b-ball.
Here he is again. He sees us again.
This is the last one, I promise.
Yeah, last loop. Just passing through.
About to go home.
Yeah.
Well, we got some jams. We got Coldplay. I like it.
Oh, nice.
No,
We what?
This is the last time.
We're staying on the sidewalk. We're allowed on the. I haven't seen anything that says we're not allowed to walk on the public sidewalk as long as we're just walking through. I haven't seen anything. I've. All right. Well, we're passing through. We're not stopping. We're just passing through.
This is the last time. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. Well, if you want to do some karaoke, Coldplay, think about it. It might be fun. All right? I think that would be good.
What was that? Oh, I thought he said something. Maybe he was talking into his walkie-talkie. Oh, DT is saying Chris did it. Did Chris jump on the bouncy house?
Oh, that's hilarious.
If he did, that's funny. If he did, I didn't catch that. If he did.
Who are the people? Do you think it's like people, or do you think it's Scientology?
I'm guessing mostly Scientologists, but who knows? Maybe they will occasionally get somebody else who is hungry and wants to try out the Pacific Cafe. Pacific Cafe, is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't see anybody behind the counter there. Interesting.
That was fun. Just to rattle the cage one last time.
Indeed.
Just for good measure. Where's New Hampshire Avenue? What's
New Hampshire Avenue? Oh, that's a good question. I know Vermont.
Right there.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Well, thank you for everybody who tuned into this. Are you going this way? Yeah. Nice shirt. Nice ASHO shirt. I haven't seen those before. ASHO is American St. Hill organization, so that's
really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It definitely is Scientology.
Yeah. I haven't seen those ASHO shirts before. Yeah. This doesn't get out of here. Then get out of here. Well, thank you very much to everybody who popped into the chat for today, and I will hopefully be back doing something similar, either covering court cases or auditing these Scientology buildings sooner rather than later. I'll go ahead and flip the camera back so y'all can see me again.
Subscribe to Jacob Parkey. I'm not. Don't leave. I'm just looking at where I am on the map.
All right. I will talk to you all sometime soon. Have a great rest of your day. And don't know off the top of my head when I will be going live next, but hopefully it is sooner rather than later. All right. Have a great rest of your day, y'all. Bye-bye.